So as you're laying back, your body starts to get relaxed. We're getting used to this nice sensation of just being held all around our back. A couple of weeks ago, there was this day that I was just having a bunch of that just, I don't know, tension, muscle stuff going on right in between my shoulder blades. And I happened that night to just fall asleep in my hammock and just sleep in it all night long. And just the way that the hammock hugs your shoulders, it made that pain completely, absolutely go away by the next morning. And so there's a lot of benefits to just kind of being held just comfortably. And I like to think of it like acupressure too. We've got all those different acupressure points going all around our body. And so here we got them all just gently activated. It's this nice little swaddle hug for our whole system. So the image that we can try to carry forward with us is the image of a magnet. If you put a bar magnet on a pile of shavings, you can see the field, that magnetic field, trace all around it. And think of it, instead of just being a 2D thing, think of it as that 3D shape, like a huge donut called a toroidal field, that shape of it. And so imagine if the magnet were weak, that field would be weak. But as the charge gets stronger and stronger and stronger on the magnet, that field expands quite a bit further out. Think of the Earth's magnetic field, how far out it must expand. And so imagine as we just get to feel a little better in our body today, imagine that this is us kind of strengthening our magnet to make it so that eventually our magnetic field is huge. And imagine what if everybody within our magnetic field was affected by our mood. So if we were positive, happy, grateful, just feeling good, then that affected everybody, whether they realized it or not, within our field. And if we were miserable, just awful day, then that affected everybody likewise. And so that's our goal today, just expanding outward and then consciously choosing what it is we want to feel and experience. And so with that image, I'm a very image-based person, with that image to help lead us on into an awesome class. Let's begin. Arms start to stretch all the way up behind us. Good. Yeah, let's let the shoulders go right. Eventually the shoulders go left. You can obviously choose the pace that feels awesome. If you just want to pause for a little while, sometimes this just hits the body perfectly. So no stress, just take it a few more times. Beautiful. Back through the center. Hug around the right knee. Pull that one into the chest. It's like we're trying to see how close we can get that thigh inward. You're ready. Right leg starts to stretch up to the sky. Feel what it is to have all those muscle fibers stretching out long. Imagine it's like the more space we create in our body by stretching, the more that charge is just able to help us feel good and open, stretched. Good. So when we're ready, let's cross this right ankle all the way past that back left edge so that the ankle hooks. Knees will move out to the side like a pigeon pose. The right ankle to left side. Good. Once you've hooked it all the way, kind of clear back where the face is. Slide the shin in. Let that hip get a chance to open. And a huge inhale. Exhale. Good. Bring out this leg. Drop this leg down. Second side, start with a hug, pulling the leg in, hug around the knee, getting that hip flexor a little bit more used to the stretch. So when you're ready to straighten the leg up, let it stretch, give it some time, some space, some breath. You're ready to bring that left heel clear back to the end of the fabric beside the ear, looking on that back right part, then slide the shin in, like we're setting up pigeon pose here. An awesome inhale. Nice exhale to free out the leg. When we drop it all the way down, let's grab our hands onto the fabric. We're sitting up. Our arms are going to stretch toward our toes inside the fabric. So pay attention to your body and what needs the stretch here. So the natural thing to do here, because the hips are the heaviest part, is for the knees to be a little bit bent. That's okay. If you consciously want to make it deeper, one option is to make the legs have to go a bit straighter. Another option is to bring the belly clear down onto the thigh and then just let the head hang. That would get us a little bit more into the back muscles. So just note what needs the effort. And find that quality. We've got a couple more breaths. Just leave the right hand down. The left hand reaches up to the sky and continues to trace all the way to the back wall. Let the body open in that twist. Even let the neck be part of the twist, just gazing backwards. Good, the arm returns up to go forward. Second side, raise the arm up and twist back. And let the head and neck be gently part of it. Good, taking a nice inhale. Exhale, ease our way back to return forward. Take another good breath in and out. Good, sitting up, kick the feet free off the front. Our thumbs are on the back end of the fabric. We're sliding the fabric back to about the back side of count line. Then we lean halfway back and grip back off for safety. Last step for the inversion is you continue to tilt back, legs go wide, kind of make sure we don't fall out. And then wrap your ankles. Once your ankles or heels are wrapped, you can start to release the arms. Just feel that sensation of gravity pulling your spine down. If you feel like the fabric didn't end up on the right part of your hips, you can always come up and readjust. Here I'll state my little rule for inversions. Don't feel like it's a competition with anybody. You're listening to your body. You're inverting as long as it feels helpful, beneficial to your system. And you're not trying to stay longer than your body wants. Zero rush for those that are upside down. When you start to come up, you'll hook your elbows and ease your shoulders forward. This is called floating child. We always take little breaks after our inversions. If you ever wanted to come back down, I like to give people that like to hang upside down plenty of time. So if you want to hang out here, even stretch out the neck, that's fine. If you want to head upside down, but just back and forth a couple of times, that's fine. It's whatever your body wants for a little while. Inversions are one of the big reasons people come to aerial, because it's like, where else does my spine get to have that? Inversions help every single system of our body. So this is such an easy and fun way to get to invert. So we've got the majority of the class up. That being said, those that are still upside down, don't feel rushed out. Sometimes your body just knows to skip a couple of things and just be upside down a bit longer, so that's okay. If maybe the next 4 or 5 breaths you want to start heading out, that's also fine. You'll just have to listen to your system to know what to do. When you are up, let's consciously start to roll our head left and right. Just start to feel us easing into some of that neck tension. Good. Always know if you need more recovery time after the inversions. By the time I start to move on, you can always stay a bit longer. That kind of actually helps me know where everybody's at. But if you start to feel like, okay, I think I'm good, I'm safe to move on, the next thing that we'll do is deeper inside the fabric. So you'll find the end of the fabric that faces you toward me most easily. And then just bunch up both of your hands onto that side of the fabric. There you go. Lock your arms straight. The leg that just kind of got lifted, that leg is the one that swings up and over. Sometimes it's funky the first time, so don't feel bad if you feel kind of stuck. You eventually kind of just get to know what to do. But once you're there, eventually you'll start to step both legs inside the fabric. Once you've got both feet in, let's bring the bottoms of your feet to touch, like a cobbler's pose. We'll just give our body a couple of breaths just to be here for a moment. So we could be resting forehead forward. We could be resting the back of the head backward. Just find a good, comfortable spot and imagine your spine as that magnet. Imagine that toroidal field circling around your body. Does it feel like the magnet is such that the middle part of the magnet goes up and out, around and down, before it goes up and out again? Or does it feel like it's the other way? It goes down and around to go up. Just kind of notice, what is my polarity like? Neither's right, neither's wrong. But I like to imagine when I've got my magnet facing one direction, it's helping me toward, living a higher, better, more higher frequency type life. Versus when I have it flipped down the other way, it's more of a manifestation type of a life at that moment. Focus on really good, powerful goals, making changes in the world. So neither's good, neither's bad. It's where we are at right now. So just a couple of breaths, listen to your body. Imagine you could feel that magnet influencing others toward enlightenment or toward manifestation. Start to straighten the right leg out long. Slide our right hand down that right leg. Left hand up and over. We're leaning sideways over that right leg. And rising up. Switch the feet out when you make your way up. So right foot in, left leg out. Left hand on left leg, right hand up and over. Good, rising up. Now let's try to get both legs to stretch out long. Our hands can grab onto the outer fabric and even help our legs press wider. Try to keep the core sitting up tall. Good, now whichever leg is closer to the mirror, bend that knee. And you're gonna kind of get both of your elbows and shoulders and arms to dive out that end of the fabric. Bend the knee. Let it drop. Let the knee kind of swivel down. It's still in the knees inside, but just like good. And you can start to push the straight legs heel down. Maybe swiveling it in, forward. Maybe kind of kicking it back. It's gonna fill all those connections right to that hip. Good. And we're gonna transition this straight leg all the way behind us into pigeon pose. So I tend to find this transition easiest if I reach to grab both ends of the fabric up nice and high. Once I've got a grip, I lift my slip up, swivel the leg all the way behind, and then start to relax one leg forward, one leg backward. Good. If you keep both shoulders inside, this is like a king pigeon. If the shoulder that's closer to the toes drops out, then you can start to lean forward. That's like a seatbelt across your shoulder. You could dangle both arms forward. It just depends on what transition, what variation goes. I kind of like the seatbelt variation because it's almost like leaning forward into that gives my shoulder a little massage. Good. So from here, we're going to grab our hands onto the fabric again up high. This is helping our weight come over the back knee, so we're kneeling on that back knee. Once we're kneeling down, let's start to straighten the front leg forward. Kind of got two options here. You can either just slide the hands down, that's a half split, or slide the hands up and take the back leg back closer to a full split. It just depends on how deep your body wants to go right now. Sliding down or sliding up, using deep. Good. Torso comes up through the center. We're gonna have to shimmy our hips backwards to sit on the back foot. So there's like a spot where it kind of feels stuck. Just shimmy past that point until you can sit on your back foot. Good. Once you're there, this front knee swivels back out like it did for the pigeon pose. We've got a knee stack going on. Good. Bend both arms all the way through to grab your wrist. That wrist is the safety lock. And then we ease forward, getting into the hips. I also like it for the spine, just relaxing down. You're preparing to come in, you need to let go and then bring yourself right in. Transition back to that wide leg position. We grip up high, slide the front leg forward like pigeon, and then rock your weight onto that front hip. And then the legs just swivel right back open, nice wide figure V shape that we started with. Good. You made it. Awesome. So we're gonna need to do all of that facing away from the mirror now. So when you're ready, the leg that's toward that back wall bends. And then both arms, shoulders, everything dive out that end of the fabric. The straight leg, you can kind of play with it, push it down into the fabric as you swivel it slightly forward, slightly back. Like we're preparing that hip, kind of priming it for the pigeon. When you're ready to go all the way to pigeon, we need to grip high, lift our weight up until we can swivel the back leg all the way behind us into pigeon. This is that place where you have the option. You can keep both shoulders in. You can slide the shoulder out that's closer to the toes. You could dive all the way down. You kind of got some options. Choose one that feels great for your body. Good. Chest starts to rise back up so we can grip higher. We're coming to kneel on the back knee. Front leg straightens out. Either slide down half splits or slide up full splits. Good, another inhale. And exhale, torso comes up. We shimmy our hips backwards until we can sit on the back leg. Whenever we're sitting, the knee swivels back out like the direction it did for the pigeon on this side. And then circle the arms around, clasping behind your back. Once you got the clasp, it's literally impossible to come out, so you can just lean forward. Okay, so hands start to release. We're coming back up inside. Grip up high, pigeon forward, and then rock onto the front hip. Both legs swivel open. And I'll give you a couple of breaths of free time here. Do what your body likes most. Maybe bottoms of feet come back together. Maybe legs are just wanting to stretch out wide. Maybe you're leaning to one side, leaning to the other. I'll give you just a couple of breaths to have freedom based on what your body wants. What feels like it would help our magnet charge up even more powerfully. Good. Whatever we're doing, let's take one more inhale. A nice exhale. Our feet start to drop off of each end. Let's work our way to face back to the mirror. So bunching up the fabric, lock the arms straight. That gives us some space. And then the leg that's toward that back wall needs to swivel to come all the way forward. Hips will be off center at first. Just shift left, right, left, right, left, right until you're there. Good. Vampire pose. Take the back end of the fabric and take a full cap sleeve cover all the way over your shoulders. Once you're there, your elbows, I kind of treat them like chicken wings, kind of gathering the excess fabric and pulling the excess to my waist so it's not gonna push my head forward. So once I've got a good cap sleeve, I lean back, my head is free off the back end. Good. Feet step in, and we need to take some of that excess down so I can lift my hips up. When I straighten my legs, that shifted all the excess down. You need to repeat that a time or two, that's okay. Take your time, get all that excess down as comfortable and flat on our back. Good. And so gripping hands up high, one hand on each side. Gather a little bit of fabric. Our feet lift up, and we need to push out into the spot that we just gathered up. So it's not lower, it's exactly pushing into that spot that we gathered. Once we, so further, feet right above thumbs. A little bit more to the end, but yep, just like that. So push out, turn your eyes upside down. You got it. So notice how the hands and shoulders are. So it's like our shoulders are completely covered. We've got that hand grip just a little bit. Notice that because depending on how much time we have, we may play with this shape later. Yep, this is an inversion, so you can slide up, you can slide down, you can take a little time. You can adjust to make it comfortable. One of the best parts about this one is that it is a total massage for the shoulders and for the neck. So it's like your own body weight is helping to just push those shoulders away from the ears. I personally prefer body as upright as possible, but find what works for you. This is that last little segment for those that are still upside down. If you need just a couple more breaths here, take it. Eventually starting to ease out. And this is a chance to listen to your body. I want you to just be comfortable as long as your body needs to take to recover. You'll help me know how you're doing by starting to sit up when you're feeling like you could maybe start thinking of moving on. So just relax as long as your body is telling you, I still need to recover. Sitting up only when you feel like all your systems are a go. Still checking in with our system now that we're sitting up. You need a couple more breaths, take it. That helps me know how you're doing. If you're starting to get to that point, you're like, okay, I think I'm ready to go. The way we head out, bunch up the fabric and then lift the hips up to release forward and out. Good. Let's keep the fabric over the shoulders. This next one kind of feels to me like a little prancing pony. It's like one knee lifts up as we hop and then the other knee lifts up. So this is helping to kind of build some of that core muscles at the same time that we're trying to build up our arm strength. So fabric over the shoulders. We're going to circle around twice to grip on. A little hint, the lower you wrap, the easier this is going to be because it's not much of a pull. The higher you wrap, the more you're going to work on that arm strength. So you kind of choose anywhere in between. And then we're going to, so go ahead and do 2 wraps. That'll just help us support the wrist. Good. And it'll look like this when we come up. We try to lift one knee. And so it's kind of like a little hop, like it helps our momentum. So do your exhale when you come up, inhale when you're down. So inhale, prep. Let's go up for 10, 9, second leg, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Let's free out our hands. Let's take the fabric up to shoulder blades, walking back. So we're leaning back, and then we're walking ourselves back up under the thumb line. Let's start to inch our feet nice and wide. Good. Let's all shift our weight to the front door. One leg is straight. You can either have the toes up or toes down, whatever feels better. Good, shifting to the other side. When we go back to the center as we start to take our legs forward, feel your spine just drop for a moment so all abdominal effort is completely relaxed. Good. Start to take the right foot forward, and then we'll swing the left foot back until the toes can plant. Once we're there, get that back heel flat, front knee bent, arms are swiveling open to left and right. Good. Let's circle over toward the front door. And back. The back door. And return. Straightening the front leg. Lean forward. The fabric will start to wrap around your biceps. So just lean forward, feel yourself supported. Your hands getting a little break after your efforts. Good. Front knee bends, and then we can roll our spine up, gripping on if you wish. Just kind of feel where your feet are implanted into the mat. Step one foot forward, the other foot back, about that same dip. That, I guess, is the word I'm going for. Okay, then balancing if we can, left and right. Front knee is bent. And let's start to twist open the back door. And forward. Open up the other way. Good. Forward. Back heel down. Straighten the front leg. Lean that halfway forward. Into that stretch for the front leg. Good. Front knee bends. Roll your way up. Grab on if you wish. We're stepping our feet back together, and then fabric's around in front of us. Take the fabric like a belt across the bones of the hips, not into the belly. That's much more uncomfortable. And then I usually go like a step or so forward, start to lean forward, As I drop down, free hands to floor. A few steps back to bring your hips under plumb line. And we're gonna try to go for standing split. So right leg goes wide because we don't want to catch your feet on the outside of the fabric, not the inside. So wide first, and then bend that knee, try to catch the toes up on the fabric. If you need to, a little trick, if you lift the other off the ground, that helps you wrap, and then you try to return the toes. Yep. You got it. And if it's just a deep massage across the hips, that's okay, it gets better with time. So if you can straighten the leg up, you're welcome to try to straighten it up. Just continue to lean your torso into that thigh. Good. Bending the knee and then release that foot down. Second leg, we're trying to wrap on the wide part. Yep. Just like that, and then try to see if you can, if you like lift the other foot off the ground for a second, it helps you go higher. Yep. That's it. And then try to return the foot back to the ground. Feeling that good stretch. Good. Try to lean belly closer and closer to the thigh. Good. And start to release. If you want to be here a little bit longer, you can play. Sometimes I'll have the knees bent, just curling in. Sometimes I'll straighten the legs out and kind of wag my hips left and right. It is a massage across the front of hips, so sometimes the body's like, I'm not ready for that, and no, it gets better over time, but don't feel like pushing your body. Those that do want to come out, I'll just give you a couple of shoulder stretches, so don't feel like you're rushed out, those that want to be upside down a little bit longer. So if you're up, I first want you to recover and just lean back. Just off a couple of breaths. Hands can be behind the head and just kind of bend one knee, leaning to that side. And shifting around. Once we've explored both sides a couple of times, we can try to clasp hands behind our back, and then pull that away from the glutes. Good, and then bring the hands back in, hands are still clasped like this. Take the hands around the right side of the waist as much as you can wrap them. And then bring the right ear to the right shoulder. You can always lean the head slightly forward or slightly back if that gets the muscles that need it better. And start to ease the head up. Switch the hands so it's on the left waist. And then the left ear starts to work its way down. Good. Head up, release the hands, grabbing onto the fabric. Let's pull our weight up. And what we're going to do from here is kind of recreate that sensation of the vampire pose around our neck. So you're gonna find, just walk forward, wave the fabric out, and then find where the middle of that fabric is, because that's going to be the spot that we want to be directly behind the back of the neck. So you kind of place that spot right behind the neck, and then slide your hands down to create the cap sleeve over your shoulder. And then starting to lean forward, we can grab our hands into the fabric. Yeah, sometimes it takes a moment. Yeah. If you need to come to it a different way, that's fine. Yeah. Like I kind of just like covered and locked it as I leaned forward, and then my hands just traced back. Okay, keep on playing with it. If you're still struggling to get there, just keep on playing until you're kind of there. But the idea, eventually, once we're here, is we walk ourselves until it feels like shoulders are under plumb line, that center of the mat kind of spot. And then what we're gonna try to do is engage the core to try to roll our body all the way inside the fabric. So we kind of have to hump and bring your hips all the way up and try to roll in. So it's a lot of core effort, even if you're just sitting here hopping a couple of times. Your goal is to try to lift the hips up as much as you can. Just a nice exhale, you're up. Even if you land down, that's okay. If you make your way all the way to roll in, that's also great. You'll just roll in and then try to slowly flop your way back down. Okay? A little bit of core right here. It's a lot of core, so don't feel like you're obligated to come in. I can help anybody who's super struggling. Come forward a little bit. I think that'll help. Got that. Start to lean forward. You feel it, feel it locking. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, come forward a little bit. Good left. Yeah, you got it. You need it. So just feel yourself kind of hop up. If you make it in, try to kind of reverse like a plow pose and try to get your toes to touch down slowly and just repeat. I know some days this is easy to do, not every day, so don't even feel obligated. Trying to just hop.
That's not bad for having COVID, man.
You're doing awesome. Yeah, seriously.
I still doubted myself.
It's okay, it's okay. Try to just feel your hips lift as high as they can. That's all. Yep. And try to get your hips even more above the shoulder next time.
Got it. You can do it.
Yeah. Are you still trying to get wound up?
Don't think
No, you look
about it. Just do it. No, you're not. Gravity's got you. What? All right. Let's do it at least once.
Yes,
You can do it. You can do it.
I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. Like once you have the muscle start, I just you're awesome. Yeah. And just keep on doing that.
All your core and your arm.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. You're awesome. And it's okay if you don't make it too. Honestly, my body's not making it too. And sometimes helmet height makes a difference too, so it's okay. Yeah.
Doesn't always make
You
it
guys are
up,
awesome.
but you try.
Good. You guys are awesome. Whenever you're happy, you've done a couple of rounds, we'll go ahead and come on out. I'll give you two options. So if you're really wanting another inversion, go ahead and take straddle back. If you're wanting some leg stretches, I'll guide through some leg stretches. So we'll be standing behind, taking right ankle in. And straddle back is fine for anybody who wants that one instead. So you have my permission if you need more inversion time. So then leg in, use same choices before. You can either slide down, heart gets closer to the thigh, or slide up and take more of a split forward. Any variations you want to play with, those are fine. This is one of those spots we kind of touched on a couple of times, but here we give ourselves actually the chance to really ease as deep as we want into it. For me, these are my notorious tight spots, so it's like I always have to make sure to include a little bit. Good. Rising up. Let's take a twist. So left hand either grips on the right side or pushes on the outside of right side. That one's a more balanced challenge. And then this right arm opens up behind. Good. As we return forward, both hands are gripping on the left side. Turn your left toes to the left. And we're gonna open up our arms for the grip. So right hand goes down, left hand goes up. If you want more of a split, you'll go forward more. Sometimes just standing here is plenty, so it's really up to you. Try to flip your grip the other way so your chest is open. Yep. And then just place the other hand above. That's the one. Yep. Good. When we grip one hand on each side, we can turn our bottom toes to face back forward. This one's a hip stretch, so knee just swivels out to the side. Sometimes just leaning forward is about all you need, head diving forward. If you want more, you can sink your weight as far forward as you want. Easing out of it to be kind of halfway would be hips just a little bit up, but you kind of have choice here, how deep you want to head into it. Good. Hips over the standing leg so that we can find balance. And then torso up. You can either just step this foot out, step the other leg in, or swinging switch. The leg is straight, grip up tight. The big thing is keep the leg straight. So with a straight leg, you step the other foot in and the first foot out. Good. Take your time whenever you're there. You have that same option. You made it.
No.
Almost. You got the idea though.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So you can slide forward or you can slide up to go to split. It's your choice. Okay, rising up. We've got the twist, so right hand grips on left or pushes on left. And this left arm opens up behind us. Good. Return. We're gripping both hands on the right side. Turn the right toes to the right. Then we end up on this right side with right hand up, left hand down. And then you choose how deep you want to ease into the stretch. Good. Coming back. Grip one hand on each side, face forward. Swivel the knee out to the side. Place the head through so the fabric is on each shoulder. And then you choose how deep you want to ease forward into it. When we're ready to head out, you can step the foot out. If there's any last stretches your body needs, whether it's just on your own outside the fabric or inside the fabric, whatever, you're welcome to take any last things. But whenever you're ready for Shavasana, let's head back inside, wind out the fabric, hook your thumbs, take about 5 grips or so, get us in the middle. Back up under metal pieces under plumb line. Come on in and head back to Shavasana. Legs are supported. Torso supported. Head is supported. Just imagine your body is that magnet. Imagine that magnetic field all around you. And while we're resting here for a few minutes together, just imagine as the body relaxes deeper and deeper with the breath, imagine that that's all it takes for our magnetic field to start expanding, maybe even exponentially. And so just notice through our Shavasana, this next couple of minutes, just notice how big your magnetic field grows into, how much space does it fill. Here we'll take the next couple of minutes to slowly start heading out. So perhaps this means a couple of wiggles, your fingers and toes, a couple of good deep breaths. Starting to let the body stretch and arch. Sometimes it's nice to do a little fetal position to each side, a couple of arches to begin to waken up the spine again. The time to make sure that the spine is in balance from left to right. As many reps as that takes. Eventually, we can start to make our way up toward a comfortable seated place. As we're sitting back up, imagine that huge magnetic field. How big has it expanded during our Shavasana? Whether that was conscious or subconscious, just noticing. And imagine as we continue the rest of our day, imagine this field stayed this big and anybody within its influence was impacted by us, whether they realized it or not. Feeling a little bit happier or whatever our current present state is. And so with this big magnetic field, with us feeling good, and with this little bit of extra consciousness about what we want to be sharing with the world, with all these ideas to lead us forward, let's wrap up the time we shared together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.